Hey guys, this is Charlie with Chopping It Up with Charlie, and today we are going to be talking about entrepreneurship. It's something that I recently took a deep dive into, and I'm just so excited about it. It's funny because initially I was a reporter at a news station here in San Antonio, Texas, and I just loved that.
And as you can see, we're down here. There's really only crawling room down here.
But I knew that I had to transition into a niche of journalism that I was more pleased with, one that, not that I wasn't pleased with it, but one that felt more at home for me. And so I decided to go ahead and leave once my contract was up. And it's funny because it was, in everybody else's eyes, it was a very risky decision, but for me it felt very right, and I did a lot of praying about it and did a lot of thinking about it. And so it wasn't just a random decision, and I decided in this time between my end of employment there and my new employment, wherever God lands me, I figured I would go into entrepreneurship. It's something I've always wanted to do. Actually, I got bit by the entrepreneurship bug years ago when I lived in New York City and I worked for a startup, and my three bosses were three powerful, brilliant, beautiful, amazing women, and every single day working with them was just incredible. And so since then, I've always known that I wanted to go into entrepreneurship. And so I ended my job, or my contract ended rather, about 3 weeks ago. So we're 3 weeks into entrepreneurship, and listen guys, it's been quite the journey. I've learned so much in such a short amount of time, and it's just been really exciting. And I just want to encourage those who are thinking about going into it just to take that leap of faith, because really there's nothing to lose. And in life, what I've learned is that things will always work out the way that they're supposed to. You just have to follow your heart, follow that calling from God or whatever you believe in, and move forward in that confidently. And so that's what I did. And so I want to share with you guys a few things I've learned on my journey into entrepreneurship over the last 3 weeks. I'm going to tell you a little bit about my business. I decided to start a virtual assistant business, helping other businesses grow their reach and their impact through social media management, through admin assistance, through a lot of different things, content creation. I am a journalist, and so nowadays you have to know how to do everything and be able to wear every single hat, which I love, and I just love that creative process. So knowing that those skills are incredibly transferable into something else that would make me money, and I'd be my own boss, and I'd be able to work from basically anywhere, sounded great to me. So I decided to take that deep dive in, while still of course applying to jobs and trying to make waves in the entertainment industry, the entertainment journalism industry rather. And so that gives you a little bit of background, but here are a few things that I've learned over the course of 3 weeks of being an entrepreneur. I can't even believe that I'm saying this, but it's super exciting. So one thing that I learned pretty quickly is that you are always going to have to make an investment. Now, whether that means financially or whether that means with your time, you're always gonna have to make an investment. And listen, I always say to my friends, I am not in the business of wasting my time. But when it comes to building a business, it is not that at all. It's not wasting your time. It's in fact investing into something and planting little seeds here and there for something huge that's gonna grow. For you, I tried to take the avenue where I didn't have to invest a lot of money, but instead invested a lot of time. And what I mean by that is that I did a lot of research on virtual assistants and what that entails before I decided to go head first into it. And so of course that time is a major investment, because I could be doing something else. I could be hanging out with friends. I could be, I don't know, watching Netflix. I don't know, anything. I could literally be doing anything. But instead I decided to spend long nights and spend early mornings and the entire day in between just learning so much about that industry and what it takes to succeed in that industry. And so I decided to invest time by researching, by doing a lot of grassroots marketing, pushing my business forward by making cold calls, by sending out emails to different businesses that may or may not have been interested in my services. I decided to just do a lot of research, watch a lot of videos from virtual assistants who inspire me in the industry, who are just succeeding and exceeding too, and in a place that I would love to be in. And so I decided to go the investment of time route versus finances. But don't get me wrong, I did invest in other things. Of course, I had to get my sole proprietorship, which cost money. Not very much, but it did cost money. I had to pay for my contracts to be put together by a lawyer, because I knew that, sure, I could probably put together a contract, but it would take a lot of time and energy to make sure that it covered all the bases. And so instead of doing that, I decided to invest my money in having someone who is a lawyer who loves to do that type of stuff to go ahead and do it for me, get it all right, so I didn't have to worry about it. So I decided to invest money into those things, the things that maybe would have taken a little more time than I would have wanted to. I've learned that I could spend all day working on my business and forget to just take a break and breathe, forget and take a break to go to the pool or have lunch with friends kind of things. I could forget that because I'm so wrapped up in what I'm doing. I enjoy what I'm doing. So of course I'm like on my computer all day. I might move locations. I might move from my house to the pool where I'm sitting out, or I might move to the conference room or to our Wi-Fi cafe. It's super important to compartmentalize everything. At least for me, this is how I am able to stay organized. But for me, it's super important because like I said, I can be wrapped up in what I'm doing all day long to the point where I like wake up, I brush my teeth, I eat my breakfast, I shower, all that good stuff. And literally I will go from doing that and starting work, and then the next thing I know, it's 12 in the morning the next day and I'm still working, but I'm enjoying it. And so there's like, I never stopped to do anything else. And so I think it's just so important to put things in folders. Like for me to say, okay, from 9 o'clock until 4 o'clock, I'm gonna work on my business. And then from 4 to 8, I'm going to apply to jobs, or I'm going to do some brand building, or I'm going to do some content creation for the week, or whatever the case may be, or I'm just going to watch Netflix and hang out. But I think it is so important to just make some time and some space to do other things and to be cognizant of that. And it surprised me to learn that in this stage in my life, that not everyone is going to get it. Like there are people who just won't get it. And I'm such a strong believer in the fact that there's a season for everyone. Some people are meant to stay in your life forever. Some people are meant to stay in your life for a season. And some of them are meant to stay in your life for a season and then return a couple of seasons later. And that is okay. But some people just don't get it. And then there are people who completely get it. Like people will invite me to do things and I will literally be like, I can't. I can't do it for several different reasons. I need to be fiscally responsible and responsible with my money. I have a business that I'm essentially running 24/7. And so if somebody needs to meet up a little later than what normal work hours look like, or if they need to have a conversation on the weekend versus during the week, I'm going to accommodate that because this is my business. And so some people don't get it. And then there are some people who are just amazing and they get it. They're just like, you know what? I get it, girl. Like, let's have wine at your place. You know what I mean? Like, how can I accommodate your new lifestyle? Or how can we meet in the middle? So I just love that. And I just love the learning process of that. It can be so lonely because think about it. You go from the corporate world where you are working with other people, and especially for me as a journalist, as a reporter who is always interacting with people. Like when I was on camera regularly, I literally every single day I was interacting with police, families, people I work in the newsroom with. And so it was, there was always people that I was in contact with or communicating with. But in this situation, it kind of was like a shock. Now I'm working in this space at my kitchen counter alone. So the advice that I would give people, and what I did this weekend, was dog sit. So I boarded some dogs, a couple of them, they were so cute. For me, it was just so important to have that connection with something or someone. So I think it's so key to just make sure to incorporate just something, like something else living, not a plant, into your regular schedule, so that whether it be something that you can play with or whether it be a friend that you work alongside with at a coffee shop once a week, or you guys have a shoot day once a week where you guys go out and just spend the day shooting content for each other, whatever the case may be, just make sure that you are in communication or are around other people, because it can get lonely and it can get you to a place where you're like, did I make the right decision? You know when you start getting in your head and you start to doubt things that you decided to do that you were so confident in and that you are still confident in. And so I think one way to just avoid that is keep your mind moving beyond just your business. So whether it mean it's moving in the sense that there's a puppy coming over to you to get some love, or you're walking that puppy every couple of hours, or whether it be a friend at a coffee shop who you guys can bounce ideas off of each other, or whether it just simply be like you're sitting by the pool and there are people walking and splashing or whatever, just that distraction to keep your mind moving beyond just your business. I think it's healthy, and hey, you might make a friend in the process too. And so that is just what I've learned in the meantime as an entrepreneur over the last 3 weeks. Please ask me any questions you want. My business is called On The Glow, and I explained a little bit about what it's about at the beginning. Ask me any questions about reporting, about entrepreneurship, about fitness, food, entertainment, anything that you have a question about, I am here. And I'm just really excited to connect with you guys and learn a little bit more about your stories. And if you're an entrepreneur and there was anything that you want to talk about, or any points or anything that you've learned in your journey, please place it below. And we all want to hear your story. We want to hear a little bit more about who's watching. So, and even if you're not an entrepreneur, we're friends. So put your information below, what you're doing in life, and if you're thinking about making that leap of faith as well, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe, and please like this video because I like you.